This is Inside Troy Athletics, a look at what's going on and what's coming up for Troy University's Trojans. Now, here's your host for Inside Troy Athletics, Jonathan Sellers.
Hello and welcome to Inside Troy Athletics. I'm Jonathan Sellers and joined today with the Director of Athletics for Troy University, and that's Jeremy McLean. And Jeremy, we can go ahead and start with the Clemson game. What a ball game. I know a lot of Trojan fans were there and witnessed what was nearly history as a close upset of then number 2 Clemson, but fell just short at the end, 30-24. What are your thoughts on the game?
You know, it was obviously, I think the first thought is, you're proud of our effort and how we played, and our guys, really showed up and played hard. A very, very physical game, and our guys delivering a lot of that physicality, and so that was fun to see. I think the other piece of that is there were some big plays in that game that could have really swung the game one way or the other. Some calls, some fumble, non-fumble calls during the game that really could have flipped that game, and the outcome been very different. And there's some opportunities for us early in the game when you go back and watch it again, where offensively we had some chances and maybe just couldn't convert in a couple of situations. So you're very, very proud of our effort. Very proud of like you said, you go to the number 2 team in the country and you take them down to the wire. Something very proud to be very proud of, especially from a young team, a team that's still still trying to get better every day. So I know our coaches are proud. I hope our fan base is excited about what they've seen. And, it's still a process. We're still trying to continue to improve, but just a great step in the right direction for our program.
Well, and you talk about the fan base being excited about what they've seen. I think it kind of showed on Saturday. During the game, Troy was number 1 nationally on Twitter trending. And then after the game, I'm sure you're aware, or you may have been back for this, when the team buses got back, the students and fans were back there to welcome them back and support them. And I think that kind of shows one Troy right there, what y'all are trying to promote.
Absolutely, and it was pretty special. I actually was on the bus, and so knew it was happening, kind of been communicating with our Student Government Association and some people on campus. But to see it when we pull back onto campus and have 400 students and some non-students there, really special. I think bodes well for where we're headed.
Right.
Special for our players. Just from the standpoint of, I think sometimes they've got their blinders on, they're playing and getting prepared, and they don't quite understand the impact they have on the community and the campus. And so I think it was really special to them. And then I'll say, even at the game, our fan base was well represented. We had a great crowd there. They were vocal. It was kind of fun to, you hear a lot about Death Valley, and it was really, really quiet at some times during that game, and you could hear our crowd get excited. So that was a lot of fun to experience.
Right. And I was there. I was one of those fans, and we were trying to make it loud on our side. But that was a very nice crowd before the game. Not so much afterwards. I think they were a little scared, but it was a lot of fun. But then again, this week, another big contest as we go to Southern Miss, which has been a game that's been played before. It's been one that fans have always talked about. That would be a great rivalry, and now it's going to happen. Yeah,
it's exciting. I think it's a great series, one we would love to continue down the road. We've got right now a home-and-home series. They'll come back to us a couple years from now. So excited about that. Excited about the trip over. They're a really good ball team. They won 9 games last year. Went to a bowl game. Went on the road in the SEC and beat Kentucky opening weekend. 2-0 right now. They're a really solid team, and the coaches do a good job there. And so it'll be another real challenge for us to go on the road and play it against another high-level quality opponent. But I know our guys will be ready for it, and our coaches will get them prepared, and I hope our fans show up. We've still got tickets available. So if anybody's interested in making a trip over, call our ticket office, and we'll get you set up.
And it's a place you're familiar with. You actually came to Troy from Southern Miss, and talk about that and what it means to you to go back and get to see your new school playing your old school.
I think on the personal level, it's neat because you get to go back and see a lot of people. I've obviously kind of been a little busy the last year, so I haven't. Not that I've lost touch, but just hadn't had a chance to see some of those folks, and they were really good to me during my time there. It's a great place. Much like Troy, in that there's just really good people that care about people, and and then the other side of that is I think there's some similarities in our programs they're maybe one step ahead of us in rebuilding their football program. And so fun to see what they're doing. And knowing that we're headed in that same direction, and we're right there, kind of on parallel paths, and so I look for it to be a great matchup and a heck of a ball game.
And one thing, just playing off the Clemson game, is that something you've heard Coach Brown talk about, how to avoid a letdown? I mean, is that talk over there in the field house?
Well, I think the main thing for our coaching staff right now, and what they want to emphasize this week, is physically getting our guys prepared, which means recovering.
Right.
Like I said, that was a very physical game on Saturday, and while injury-wise we came out of it pretty good, just the toll it took on the body is. So this week they'll be trying to get them mentally prepared, but also give them maybe a little more rest than they would during the normal week. And so I don't anticipate any kind of mental letdown, if you will. They know how good Southern Miss is and how important this game is. It'll just be a matter of continuing to get prepared physically as well.
And then let's go ahead and talk about the soccer team. Maybe they kind of got lost in the limelight, unfortunately, this weekend. They tied Mercer on Friday and then went and faced the #1 team in the country on Sunday and took them into overtime. Ended up losing 1-0 in that one, but just a great game and a great opportunity for the soccer team.
Really is, and I'll tip my hat to Coach Hamilton. He's really done a good job of upgrading our non-conference schedule this year, and that's something we talked about going into the year, and he really wanted to do. And last week we've had a few losses over the past couple of weeks, but if you go back and look, we lost to Ole Miss in the last couple of minutes, 1-0 at their place. You go on the road and you play the #1 team in the country in Florida State, and you lose in overtime. And so been very close, and he's got a young roster, so they're still kind of growing up a little bit during these really difficult games and challenging part of the schedule. But now we'll start conference competition now, and I think those games will pay off and have prepared us for conference play.
And that is at home this week, right? They play App State at home on Friday?
That's right. To play Friday and Sunday, beginning with App State, and I think Arkansas State on Sunday. Okay. And so great opportunity to come out and see them and support our soccer programs. Like I said, headed in a great direction. Had 2 really successful years and have had a great recruiting class and had a chance to build on that.
And then the volleyball team was also in action just up the road in Montgomery, and they've got back in the winning way and won 3 up there in Montgomery, and they're going to be back in action this week as well.
Yeah, great. It was a great weekend for them. Really kind of we went 3-0 in that tournament, and we went up there and took care of business here close to home, which was exciting. Play UAB this week on the road, and then again get back after it this weekend. So they've got a busy part of their schedule and an important part of their schedule as they prepare for conference play as well. So proud of where they're headed, and again, hopefully peaking at the right time as we go into conference play.
And I know finally that everybody's really starting up in the fall schedule. Golf, cross country's in their second meet of the year. I'm sure tennis will get started soon as well. So everything's kind of getting going right now.
Yeah, it really is. Our men's golf team start this week, and then our women's team starts as well. In the next few days, cross country had their second meet. The men had another great finish, and so excited about what they're doing. And I think the coaches are really fired up about the possibilities that this year holds for them. So it's a busy time, and it's an exciting time. It's fun to see our student athletes back in action, representing Troy very well, and so we're excited about where we're headed.
And so there will be home action this week. The soccer team will be home Friday night at 7 o'clock, Sunday at 1 o'clock.
That's right.
Okay. So and football will be on the road. There's still tickets available. They can call the ticket office or just call Troy Athletics.
Correct.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. And now on Inside Troy Athletics, we're going to talk some soccer with the head coach of that team, and that's Coach Jason Hamilton. And Coach, I know it's been a tough 4-game stretch for you, and the previous 2 games were tough for you. And you come back, you face Mercer, face #1 Florida State, and you didn't get any wins out of that, but your team played really well. And what were your thoughts on your efforts?
Yeah, I mean, after the previous weekend, we talked a lot about getting back to being a little bit more. Having higher standards defensively. It's kind of been our MO the past 2 seasons, right. And we've been in the top of the country in that. So we talked about what we need to do to get back on track there, and then to come out against Mercer, and we didn't give them a shot on goal. So if you don't give a shot on goal, you're not going to lose the game. So we're a little unfortunate to not get the win there. We had a ton of opportunities offensively. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the goal. But we shut them down defensively, and we were happy to see that we responded very well to the week of training. And then after that game, we just said that's the standard, and we set the standard, and we need to carry that going forward. And it doesn't matter if we're playing Florida State, who's number 1 in the country, or we're playing the worst team in our conference. We have to have that standard, and that's going to help us win games. So, to go into Florida State, a tough place to play, they just 3 days before that beat the number 8 team in the country 3-0, and to take them to overtime and really make a difficult game on them, shows a lot about the resilience that our team has, and I think most importantly it shows our team what we're capable of. It's kind of been up and down non-conference part of the season, and we're 4-4-1 when we think we could have been a little bit better going into it. So to end non-conference play against the number 1 team in the country and go to overtime, I think that's it's giving them a little bit of faith in, hey, we're still in good shape.
But you think your scheduling, the way you did it, making it tougher, has kind of done what you wanted it to do? Absolutely,
and that's what we said. After last year, is we're going to schedule tougher. We're going to play against more difficult competition, because that's going to prepare us for our conference. And I think our conference is continuing to grow. Last year having 7 teams in the top 115 in the RPI, and this year everybody in our conference is scheduling Power 5 teams. So I think to stay ahead of some of the teams that we're ahead of, we've got to continue to schedule those games, and that's why we have the Floridas and Florida States and Alabamas over the next few seasons. I think 2018 we've got 5 SEC or ACC teams in our conference, so we want to put them on our schedule. We want to play against the best, and I think Sunday proved that we're capable of it. And I know you talked about your youth early on. Do you think they've really hitting a stride going into conference play? Yeah, I think some of them are really, really starting to pick it up. I think we're finally healthy. We still had 2 starters that didn't play for us against Florida State. So to show that we're capable of going to overtime with them, with 2 of our starters out of the lineup, shows that we do have the depth that we've been saying that's there. And there's some of those other players have gotten opportunities throughout those early games in the season that they were able to step in and fill some of those voids. So I think it's a kind of a combination of the youth is starting to kind of figure it out and understand it, but then also just the team meshing. I think that at this weekend we started 7 different players from last year's team, so really only returning 3 starters. You wouldn't expect to even be at 4-4-1. So it shows that we're coming together and the talent's there, and we just got to move forward still. Well, and you're moving forward this week as you start your Sun Belt schedule, and that starts Friday night at home. I know you're ready to get back home, but against Appalachian State. What do you know about them? They're going to be tough. They're having a fantastic year. They're the only team in the conference right now with 5 wins. They've played some tough games. They just lost to Texas Tech at home, which is a top 25 program. So they've done the same thing. They're scheduling tough games. They want to push themselves, and they're a team I see that finishes in the top 3 or 4 in the conference this year. So we've got to know it's the first game of the conference. It's very important for both teams that we have to come out and kind of protect being at home, and just kind of take advantage of having the first 3 games in the conference at home and get off on a good start. And then you face Arkansas State Sunday at 1 o'clock. What do you know about them? Yeah, I mean, they're a team that's a little bit different than App State. They're kind of in their second year of rebuilding. So, they're a team that, they're kind of hot and cold at times. And last year we played them and they were difficult. We played them at home and I think we beat them 2-1. So they're a difficult team, even though they finished at the bottom of the conference last year. They're a team that if they have a little bit of hope, they're gonna battle, and so it's just a game that we're at home on a Sunday. That's a game we got to get after right away, and if we can get after them in the first 15-20 minutes, it's really gonna kind of take the wind out of their sails a little bit. But it all starts Friday night, 7 o'clock. Correct. Here at home against Appalachian State, so hopefully you'll have a big crowd out there. I know they've been great in supporting you. Absolutely. So. Hopefully we see everybody out there. All right, thank you for joining us. Thank you. All right, stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. We're back for our final segment here on Inside Troy Athletics, and we're going to talk cross country with the head coach of that team, and that's Coach Elliott Blount. And Coach, y'all were in action over the weekend down in Mobile, and good showing for your men. That, as you said, past couple of years they've been building. It looks like things are finally starting to click for them.
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually coaching now. Like for the first time, in all seriousness, and the first time since I've been there, we put together 2 performances back to back, which were solid. And we still have a ways to go as far as fitness, but it was reassuring to see that they just competed again. They finally competed like 2 weeks in a row. So.
And some of the competition was against South Alabama, and that's a team that you're going to see down the road, especially.
Right, we were able to match up with them well. We both sat out, probably 2 or 3 members on both sides, both South and us, that might be on our conference team. But it was a good, barometer. Always good to beat the in-state rival. So.
And now your women's team didn't have the best meet. What's going on with them right now?
Yeah, I think what we're running into on the women's team is this, we're not coming to the line focused. Mm-hmm. Our mind's elsewhere, and it's not allowing us to compete at that level. So what we did after the meet, we sat down and, I asked them, I challenged them all to do some soul searching. Let's find out what's going on and what's kind of stopping us from going to the line with a clear mind.
Now you got a chance to kind of take things easier this week, or maybe to build it up in practice a little bit. What are y'all going to do this week without competing on the weekend?
Right. So for this is probably, we only had maybe 3 or 4 workouts where we were actually trying to hit splits up to this point. I think we had one this morning, so that was probably our 4th one of the year. If you look back at years past, we were probably 7 to 10 workouts deep already. This is the next 2 to 3 weeks where we have some time to kind of, lick our wounds and get some good training in. Right. Like, we'll do that, and by the time we get to the next meet, the 24th and the one on the 1st in JSU, we'll be able to have a better understanding of where we're at in our training. So. Now,
the meet on the 24th, I know that's one you were kind of hoping to get in there, and it looks like it is going to be confirmed. You're going to be able to compete down in Dothan on the same course that the conference meet's going to be at?
Correct. Okay. The 24th of September, if you're in town, we'd love to have you guys come down, and we're having the Trojan Cross Country Invitational. Doc Anderson, who's a former coach here, will be starting the race, and it's just a good chance for us to get out on that course, get familiar with it at a race pace clip. So it should be interesting.
And that'll be the 24th. Do you know its start time?
September 24th. We're starting at 10 a.m. for the ladies with the 5K and 10:45 with the men 8K.
And that's on the Troy campus, so
Troy
there
Dothan
on
campus,
Troy Dothan campus,
right off 231. Right. You won't be able to miss it. It has some nice curb appeal, and we'll have some tents up and everything. It should be nice. So if you're around, come on out.
All right. Sure. So off this week, and then you got that. So good luck in preparing for it. I know hopefully you'll have a big crowd out there for it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Appreciate it. And join us again next time for more on Inside Troy Athletics.